every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun, and snap!
The job's a game! Hooray!
Lovely. I absolutely adore Mary Poppins. So
Yeah.
that was the perfect intro for me. Absolutely love it.
Practically perfect.
Exactly. In every way. So this week on CineChat, we are doing Disney in honor of Frozen 2's release this week.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've got in store for you today is a smashing new Disney quiz for Matt this week. I'm skeptical about this one, Matt. I don't know if you're going to make this one.
I've not a clue.
So I'm really excited for this. We've also got our top 10 Disney films at the end of the podcast, so stay tuned for that. And we will be discussing all the eras of Disney, as well as talking about Disney today and the industry takeover and their streaming platform, etc. So it's going to be absolutely jam-packed full.
100%.
So we're actually a week early because I'm going to be on my honeymoon.
Yay!
Next week, so I will not be available to record, so we don't have any news for you. We've got some trailer reactions for you this week. So we are going to be looking at Soul, Onwards and Frozen 2. So Matt, should we start with Soul?
We should start with Soul. I think this one's the trailer that came out most recently.
Yes.
It's only a teaser, so it's quite short.
It is.
And there is a man.
I think he dies. A lot of people said they're not sure, but I think he dies.
He falls down a manhole and turns into a blue blobby thing, and the film's called Soul.
Yes.
Soul is in your spirit, and soul is in soul.
The music.
Because he's a jazz pianist or something, maybe?
Yeah. I think it's like about your true self, isn't it? It looks like it's discovering your true self and
follow your dreams,
who you want to be. Yeah.
Very Disney.
I'm really excited. I think it looks really good. Now, you're not excited about the same bit I am.
No.
I like all of the otherworldly parts of it. I think that looks really fantastical and magical. You didn't really click onto that, though, did you?
When the trailer starts and it's all based in the real world and the detail is so intricate, probably the best looking Pixar animation that I've seen. But then as soon as he just turns into like a formless blob, I just thought that's been kind of thrown away. The trailer had me till he turned into the blue thing.
Yeah.
I felt a bit cheated. This is coming off the back of when Inside Out came out.
Yeah.
And I was really sold by the idea of humans interacting with their emotions, but actually what you get in reality is a film about
the emotions.
Just the emotions. Disney sold me one film, but delivered me another, so I really hope that the focus in this one is on the real worldy stuff.
No. Well, that's interesting. We'll wait and see. Okay, so we've also watched the trailer for Onwards.
Yeah, this is unusual.
Yeah, now, I've got to say, I love the way that Disney market their trailers. Because you get a teaser and it doesn't really give anything away, but it is really magical. You get a sense of something intriguing that draws you in, but it doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah, plot-wise, you really don't find anything out.
Yeah, exactly. But then you get a trailer that actually gives you the plot, basically, but it doesn't feel like the entire movie's in it.
There's always something that they don't tell you, I feel. So in this one, they're two brothers that live in it's basically just fantasy world, isn't it? There's elves and goblins and wizards.
But also mixed with a little bit of modern America by the looks of things as well.
Yeah, it's like a suburban neighborhood.
Yeah.
Things like that. And there's two brothers voiced by Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, which I think are great choices, actually.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But you didn't know that from the first one. All you saw was a bit of the world in the first one. It wasn't until you watched the second trailer you actually realised there's actually a whole story to this, all based around the father. It gave you none of that at first, but it still looked good. I watched the second trailer this morning and I didn't have a clue that's what it was about. It was like, oh,
no,
wow, okay.
I'm more excited for seeing the second trailer now than
Absolutely, I was. Yeah, and I think that's their aim.
Yeah.
But they don't give you too much and they don't give you too many trailers. I think with the likes of Star Wars and things like that, it's too much. So by the time it's come out, you're just like, well, I know half of the story already. And I'm not really that excited because I've seen too much of it.
Yeah.
I have to admit, after seeing all three trailers, it's the one I'm least excited about out of the three.
I can see that. Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure why, but
Yeah.
it's just not quite.
It's not the Disneyest of Disneys. I
No,
think.
it's not actually. No, it
It's
doesn't.
got a little bit of like a DreamWorks Trolls feel to it.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Zootopia, which is
Yeah.
Disney, but that doesn't really look very Disney either.
Yeah, some of them just sort of really embodied the look and the spirit of the films, and
yeah.
others just sort of look like them, and others just feel like them. So
Yeah. One that really does look and feel like it is the Frozen 2 trailer. That teaser trailer that we first got with the water and she's doing the ice through the water, I just thought that was superb. The water itself was incredible. The actual landscape around her looks real.
It's already a step up. Definitely the visuals were very intriguing.
Yeah.
Story-wise, I kind of just went,
well, it didn't tell you anything. It was
That's
just
it,
like this
yeah.
magical little moment that you got, and that was it. But I really liked that. I was like, "Ooh, that looks like something."
I was just hoping that either the next trailer or the film itself would not just be just making another Frozen film because we can.
Yeah. And what do you think? What now that you've seen the second trailer?
I don't think it gave everything away.
No.
Still. But I think the story of this one, or at least what they're implying, is more interesting to me than what the original one was.
It looks bigger in scale, much bigger.
Yeah, they're actually going to do something as opposed to just, I don't know, I feel like the original it kind of had to be an origin story.
Yeah, it was small scale as well, wasn't it? It was all happening to the characters right there and then.
Yeah.
Whereas this looks like it's more they're going on an adventure and things need to be done, and there's a lot more to it. I actually really like the look of it now.
Yeah.
I was keen anyway because I enjoyed the first movie. But this has really got me excited. I'm interested to see if it can have the reaction that the first one did.
Yeah.
The first one came out in 2013 and it was everywhere.
It
I mean,
still
I've
is.
not seen anything like that for years.
No.
The marketing and the toys, and it was everywhere. I haven't seen that for years and years. Not for an animated film. I don't remember an animated film having that reaction. I've seen it for the likes of Harry Potter and things like that. But for an animated movie to have that reaction was incredible. I think loads of people were absolutely sick to death with it. It was, oh my God, Frozen, that song. Oh.
I think the songs were some of the best bits of the film.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Let It Go is it. I mean, she is...
Adele Dazeem is fantastic.
Oh, God. Right, okay, so before we do anything else, Matt, I have got a Disney quiz for you.
I don't feel well.
There are 10 questions
to
this quiz, and you have 15 points to earn.
Right.
So you can cue the music. Okay, so question 1. Matt, are you ready for this?
I'm not sure, but yeah.
What is the highest grossing Disney film of 2019 to date?
Are we talking animated? Can I just check?
No, we're talking Disney. This is all things Disney.
From this year?
Yes. There's only one possible answer to this, Matt.
Oh, it must be Avengers Endgame.
It is.
I feel like we've had this question.
$2,797,800,564.
So it made a bit of money.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. It is now the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yes, that was easy. I like that one. One down.
Yes. Okay. So, question 2: Disney bought Lucasfilm for how much?
Ooh, okay. It's going to be a lot.
It's rather a lot, yeah.
$200 million.
Oof. You're a little bit out.
Okay.
You're a little bit out. You're not anywhere near close, I'm afraid.
You said I'm a little bit close.
No.
Okay.
Disney bought Lucasfilm for $4.05 billion.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Rather a lot more than that.
It's one of those questions you just don't know.
It is. You know it or you don't.
That's it.
Okay.
Never mind.
How many films have been released by Disney in 2019? And I'll give you it within one on either side.
Okay.
You might have to count this one
I'm
off.
just thinking in my head if there's any that are like owned by Disney that aren't obviously Disney.
Yes, I would definitely include those.
But that could be so many. Okay, for definite, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Far From Home. Did I say Captain Marvel?
You did.
Okay. Lion King, Toy Story 4, Aladdin. Frozen 2's not out yet.
You can count. No, you can count it.
Okay.
It's 2019.
Frozen 2. Maleficent 2. Dumbo. Lady and the Tramp technically didn't really come out.
I wouldn't count that one.
Okay. So there's 8 that I can think of. There's probably... I'm going to say 10. 10.
You're going to say 10. You count in the films that have been released from all of their sectors. Are you going to go with 10?
No, now you said that. 25. I don't know. 25.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are wrong.
I can't think of what they own anymore.
The answer to the question is 19.
What did I say?
25.
Oh, poo.
So you have 6 Walt Disney Studios movies,
Yeah.
1 Pixar,
Yeah.
2 Marvel movies, 9 Fox movies, and 1 Lucasfilm. Included in that, you've got the likes of stuff like Ad Astra. I mean, you just don't.
Oh,
think
see,
that.
yeah, I wouldn't have.
You know what I mean? It's amazing. Okay, we'll move on.
Okay.
Question 4.
Yeah.
Which Disney classics animation style was inspired by the work of an artist? You don't need to know the artist, but one particular movie. Yeah, have a think. It looks different to all the rest. It's got a very distinct style.
I can only think of Fantasia looking different to the others.
That you going to be your answer?
Well, not now you've made that noise.
I'm just asking.
Let me just think for a second. What else?
Have a think. When you hear the answer, you will go, oh, right, yeah.
The only other one I can think of is maybe Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as your answer. Unfortunately, it's incorrect.
Okay.
The answer is Sleeping Beauty.
Really?
It was inspired by the artist Avon Earl. He started working at the studio in 1951 and was soon chosen by Walt Disney himself to work on Sleeping Beauty. It's got a very distinct background style. If you look at the actual style of the landscapes and how it's all drawn, it's very different to all of the rest of Disney.
I wouldn't have known that.
Well, you've learned something
There
now.
we go.
Probably won't remember his name, but
No.
you know that now.
Fair enough.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Which famous director started his weird and wonderful career at Disney?
Oh, God. Weird and wonderful.
Emphasis on the word weird.
Weird director. Okay, I've got one weird director in my head. I've got a few weird directors in my head. It's probably Tim Burton.
It is Tim Burton.
Yes! I was thinking David Lynch or Tim Burton.
Tim Burton was offered an apprenticeship in the animation division in 1982.
Oh, okay.
And he directed a black and white short called Vincent.
All right.
And after making his stop motion short Frankenweenie, he was actually fired from Disney for being too scary for kids.
Oh, but he's just done Dumbo, hasn't he?
Ironic, yeah, he's come back and done Dumbo. And The Nightmare Before Christmas was released by Disney as well in 1993. So a decade later, he came back. I think they were made to eat their words there.
Wow. Amazing.
Okay, number 6. Name the 3 highest grossing Disney animated films adjusted for inflation, not including Pixar. So you're going to have to take a stab in the dark at this one.
Adjusted for inflation, I feel like, is the operative phrase there.
Yes. One of them in there was very surprising to me, actually.
Okay. I'm probably going to have to put Frozen in there because I feel like it did make so much.
Okay.
Based on the adjusted for inflation, I'm going to take a stab and say that the earliest film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, has probably generated a lot.
Okay.
And then I feel like I can only really say The Lion King because that was big.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, Matt, that you got 2.
Oh, I'll take 2. I will take 2.
Number 1 is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's 935.2 million.
Right. Wow.
Number 2 is the one that you didn't get. Number 2 is actually 101 Dalmatians at 857.2. I was very surprised about that.
I wonder why.
And the third was, yes, The Lion King, $764.8 million.
Crazy.
There you go. So 2 out of 3, not bad.
I'll
there.
take 2 out of 3.
Okay, number 7. Name the 3 animated movies that have been nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
For Best Picture, I think that's going to be Toy Story 3.
That is correct.
Beauty and the Beast was the first one,
It was the very first 1990.
which means the only other one. Oh God! Best picture.
This is the one I forgot about. I don't personally agree. I feel like it made it based on its first 15 minutes, but...
Okay, I know what it is.
Okay, what is it?
It'll be Up.
It is Up. And you're getting that point because I gave you too many clues, but...
Too many clues, thank you.
So you got 3 out of 3 there. I'm a softie. I should just keep my mouth shut, but I can't help it.
I gave you half a fleck.
Okay. Okay, number 8. Yeah. What is the shortest Disney film? A bonus point if you can tell me the length.
You just love the length. I feel like I watched it.
You may well have done.
I think it's Dumbo.
It is Dumbo. Do you know how long it was?
It was 1 hour and 4 minutes.
That's correct. Yes. Well done. 64 minutes.
I watched
it
this week.
Disney film.
Yay.
Okay, number 9.
Okay.
Which Disney character has appeared in the most Disney films?
Disney character.
Probably not the one you would imagine, but
it
wouldn't have been my answer.
I know they drop a lot of Mickey Mouse faces into things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Mickey Mouse is probably in most
Mickey
of them.
Mouse?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually not Mickey Mouse. That would have been my answer as well.
Oh, okay.
The Disney character that's appeared in the most Disney films is Donald Duck.
No,
Donald Duck. Donald Duck first appeared on the silver screen on June 9th, 1934. Mm. He's gone on to star in 7 feature films, which is more than any of his Disney counterparts.
Oh.
And he is 6 years younger than Mickey Mouse.
All right. Never mind.
Okay, and the last question. Mm-hmm. What actor was the first to receive a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor for providing a voice in a Disney feature animation?
God. I feel like you wouldn't be asking if the actor wasn't a known actor.
Think. Who is the one person that when you think Disney, he knocked it out of the park voice-wise?
I mean, I've got one in my head now, but...
Okay.
Oh, it's Robin Williams.
Of course it's Robin Williams.
I've got it now.
Robin Williams got a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor for Aladdin.
Amazing. I didn't know that, actually.
There you go. Well, you do now.
Yay.
Okay, so let's count up your points.
Please.
So, out of 15 points,
okay,
you got 10.
I'll take 10. I'll do that.
Yeah, well, it's more than half. I always say if you've got more than half, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I think you should be very happy with that. Yeah.
Good quiz.
Okay, so that's the Disney quiz. Okay, so we're going to jump right into Disney and their films.
Yeah.
So the way we're going to do this is we're going to talk about each of the eras of Disney. We're going to discuss their style in general, dip into the films a little bit, and then we're going to give our best film achievement-wise and our favourite film of that era. They might be the same one or they might be different.
Yeah.
So... we're going to start with the Golden Age from 1937 to 1949. So the movies that came into this era were Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Bambi, and The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty great until that last one.
Yeah.
That's a pretty standout list of absolute classics right there.
Yeah, it's a great start. It's almost like there was no hesitation in what they wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. And funnily enough, I think this is the highest rated era.
Yeah.
All of them are in the 90s, apart from Pinocchio, which is 100% rated.
It is actually, yeah.
100%. Do you know, there's nothing like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, though.
No, yeah.
Even after that, Pinocchio only came out 3 years later, but the style was different. None of the rest are drawn quite the same as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
No, it's very distinctive. I wouldn't necessarily say it's aged well, but for 1937 and for their first big animated feature, it's great.
It's beautiful, though. One of my favourite clips is when they're walking down the log home in the sunset.
Yeah.
It's just, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And then to move on to Pinocchio and then like the things they were doing underwater and with the whale, and there was just some amazing animation in there. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Things transforming as well is a quite hard thing to animate.
Absolutely. And you're thinking they're doing it all that by hand.
Yeah.
It just doesn't compare to the later. Obviously, computer animation's a different thing, but for me, nothing beats the drawing.
Yeah.
And it really is a piece of art, isn't it?
Piece of art in the sense that when you know what's gone into it, that heightens the scale of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to ask you, what is your best film from this? What do you think was the highest achievement in this
Oh
era?
God. Like you say, they're so different, some of them.
I think they all had achievements because they were striving in every film, especially early on, to produce different things that hadn't been seen before.
I think it's only fair to say that Snow White is probably the best. It had no foundation, or it literally did come out of thin air almost, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I've got to say that what I like about this first era is that there's examples of every type of film that was then used going forward. So you've kind of got the more fairy tale-esque ones, you've got the more animal-based ones, and then you've got the more literary-based ones as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm going to say Snow White. I'd say it's my favourite and the best.
Do you know what? I'm exactly the same. I think it's the best, and it is definitely my favourite. I used to watch this over and over when I was a kid. I used to watch it and then get my mum to rewind the VHS tape so I could watch it again straight after.
I used to kneel in front of the open washing machine and sing into it. I'm wishing. True story.
Did you get your wish?
Oh, I didn't have one. I was just mimicking.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Maybe a washing machine doesn't quite have the same effect.
It always answered back though. Very reliable.
Okay, so we're going to move straight on to the Silver Age, which was 1950 to 1969, which I think a lot of people might say was maybe their favourite.
And I think it depends on your age as well.
It's a big factor, yeah. So the films released in this era were Cinderella in 1950, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, 101 Dalmatians, The Sword and the Stone, and The Jungle Book. Just to note that The Jungle Book was the last film made with Walt Disney supervising.
Alive.
He died in 1967 before the film was finished, but it was the last film that he was involved in creatively.
I never really knew much about the timeline of his life, so I kind of didn't really consider where up until when he was alive.
Absolutely. I feel like you can kind of feel it though.
Changes.
There's something not the same after 1967. I can't even put my finger on exactly what it is, but it's almost like you can tell. I do think there's a definite change. Now, these films, again, from this era are also pretty much all very highly rated. 100 More Dalmatians is 98.
That's the one that apparently grossed so much money.
Yeah, that was obviously really, really popular, that one. The Sword and the Stone, which is our lowest so far at 67.
I love that one.
I think the further back that you go, the more beloved the films become.
Yeah, that's only natural, I think.
But there's something lovely about the old ones. Like, obviously, time hasn't provided us yet with the newer ones.
Yeah.
And this, I don't feel like the style changed too much in this era.
No, not really. If anything, there's just a couple that are a bit more otherworldly than...
Yeah. I mean, this is where they started their princess run in this one with Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and also carried on with their stories. So you had like Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, based off on the books, yeah.
Yeah. So they carry on like a template that they've started in the first one, which I think works really well for them. Their adaptations of stories and things like that have all worked out really well. Again, you've got the animal part here, like really, really strongly. You've got Lady and the Tramp, you've got 101 Dalmatians, The Jungle Book. The animal movies have worked very well for Disney, obviously.
Yeah, it's interesting how many are British properties as well. Peter Pan, 101 Dalmatians, Sword in the Stone, and Alice in Wonderland.
It's also amazing how they have overtaken the idea itself. Everybody knows the stories, but I think a lot of people know the stories because of the Disney film.
Yeah, that became the iconic version.
Yeah, so it's funny because their whole idea about these classic stories comes from Disney, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So what is your greatest achievement for this one?
I find this slightly harder than the last one because in terms of style, they're quite similar. I might be best just giving...
Go on, give us your favourite. What's your favourite?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go Peter Pan on this one.
Are you?
It's the character I most identify with.
I was not expecting that one at all.
Why not?
I thought you were going to say The Jungle Book.
No, I don't like The Jungle Book.
Do you not?
Very much. No.
I thought you would say The Jungle Book.
I only watched it for the first time like last year, that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to go, achievement-wise, I'm going to go The Jungle Book.
Okay.
Because I just feel it's just got something really iconic about it. I really think there's something about that one. But it's not my favourite. My favourite is Alice in Wonderland. There's just something magical about that one.
Yeah.
The way it looks, all the colours in there. It's so quirky. All the singing, just everything. It's magical and it's fantastical and vivid.
It's the only one out of those 8 that I haven't watched. I was going to. I tried my best, but all the others I have seen.
Put it on your list. It's a good one, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to what they call the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
But it's apparently the Dark Age of Disney. So you've got the Aristocats, Robin Hood, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, The Rescuers, The Fox and the Hound, The Black Cauldron, The Great Mouse Detective, and Oliver and Company, 1988. I should say the Dark Age goes from 1970 to 1988.
These are a bit mixed, really. I think you can kind of sense that they were missing this sort of direction from Disney himself.
Apart from Winnie the Pooh, which has become an absolute beloved classic.
They're just a bit weird.
They've not got the same kind of traction that the others have got. I think they're more cult classics, if anything else. People come to them as fans, but they're not like out and out classic.
I've only seen the first 2, which is the Aristocats and Robin Hood, which I'd watched the first time this week.
Right, okay. So it would be interesting to see for you. I would say The Rescuers and The Fox and the Hound, I would say, have the same kind of vibe as them two. So when you go to the Black Cauldron and the Great Mouse Detective and Oliver and Company, you can tell that it's very much in the 80s.
Yeah, but they've got like 80s music, haven't they? One of the Pointer Sisters plays a dog in Oliver and Company, and then I realised it was meant to be based on Oliver Twist.
It is actually. I really like it. We watched it a lot when I was a kid. I had a cassette tape with the Oliver and Company soundtrack on it, and there was one song that I would just play and play and play. I love that. And the Black Cauldron actually was considered a complete flop. It's only got 55%, which actually isn't the lowest in this era. With the highest being Winnie the Pooh, which is actually 100%.
Right.
And it has the same kind of vibe, the Great Mouse Detective as well. They're kind of gritty and a bit darker, and maybe that's what it is that I like about them. And Oliver and Company has a bit of the same sort of thing. There is a grittiness to it, a bit of realism, danger. I feel like that kind of is more prevalent in those ones. But yeah, it's a funny era, that one. I can see why they call it the Dark Age, because it just doesn't have any of those classics. I mean, I don't really count Winnie the Pooh as...
Yeah, I forget that that's Disney, because Winnie the Pooh is just Winnie the Pooh. But
Exactly. It's just there, but it is actually Disney, which is funny. You always forget that.
So then looking at... See, I've only seen 2, like I said.
Yeah.
One of them, we did watch the Aristocats as children.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether I would choose to watch that one now. I watched Robin Hood this week for the first time. I think there were some genuinely quite good bits of that. I think there's parts of the Aristocats that I wouldn't be able to stand as an adult.
Yeah.
Some musical sequences that are just a bit... and I don't... Yeah. I'd just have to pick Robin Hood. That's all I can do, really.
Okay. Well, for me, obviously, I've already said the Black Cauldron's got to be my favourite. But I think in terms of achievement, not just because of what they did at the time, but because of what they've been able to do with it, is it's got to be Winnie the Pooh.
Right, yeah.
Winnie the Pooh is, like you said, it's just Winnie the Pooh. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
It's become something that transcends Disney. Okay, moving on then. This is the exciting part.
This is our generation.
This is the Renaissance from 1989 to 99. We grew up with these.
And I'm astounded at how consistent they were.
Yeah, it's just, and the quality.
The quality, that's it, yeah. There's only one that I haven't seen here as well, which I think if there's any that I was going to miss out, I'm glad it's this one.
I'll read the list. So we've got The Little Mermaid, The Rescuers Down Under, which is the sequel to The Rescuers, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, Pocahontas, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, and Tarzan.
It's so good.
There's a lot of movies there.
Well, there's like one a year, isn't it?
There's got so many films in a 10-year span.
They were definitely a production company now, in the sense that we know it today.
Yes.
But yeah, some absolute bangers there.
Oh yeah, fantastic films.
They were just so good, and all of a sudden the songs were so much better now as well. These were like Oscar-winning songs.
Yeah. Now this was the era. This is when they started picking star voices. They didn't do that
No.
before. Now they did have voices that were recognizable and were in other things, but they weren't stars.
No.
And it really started with Aladdin.
Yeah.
With Robin Williams, like we mentioned before. That worked so well. I mean, ever since then, there's been stars in every Disney movie. I mean, the voice casts are part of the draw now.
It is, yeah. Then again, they had Angela Lansbury in Beauty and the Beast, and she was well known.
They did. That's true. That's true. I think that was more of a revival for her, though, because she'd very much quietened down. But yeah, I think they're all still drawn at this point.
Yeah.
This is the last era of drawn animation because it totally changed after that.
Yeah, there's been the odd one or two since then, hasn't there? But
I think that's why it's also quite special as well, because it all changed after that.
yeah.
Not only have you got great quality movies, but it wasn't the same going on.
Yeah, and it's not always necessarily change following your childhood isn't easy always to see as a good change.
Yeah.
It's very easy to look at it and sort of say it's not the same anymore.
Again, they're following the pattern. They've got this template. They've got their animal movies. They've got their princess movies. They've got their novels in there.
And a few sort of legends as well, like myths and legends, which are some of my favourite.
All the way through, you're talking from 37 down to 99, 60 years. But it is different. It looks different. When you look at the Dark Age, the animation looks a bit rougher.
They definitely do, yeah.
The 90s, 89, 90s, it's very much polished.
Yeah, the craft had been sort of perfected.
Yeah, and you can see that watching them. So now this is going to be, I know this is the hardest one.
This is super hard.
So what is the best in achievement, do you think?
I'm just trying to do an all things considered, because obviously, like I said, the music all of a sudden played a much bigger part, I think, in these ones than it had done before.
It did, because they started selling that as a marketing tool.
Yeah.
Sell the soundtrack, that kind of thing.
I think in terms of the best, surely The Lion King is the pinnacle Disney film.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
I thought you were going to go Beauty and the Beast. That's your favourite?
That's my favourite. It is, yes. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast is my favourite. It never used to be. It used to be The Lion King. As I've got older, I don't know why, I've kind of gravitated more towards Beauty and the Beast.
I watched the animated Beauty and the Beast properly for the first time this week. So
okay, and what were your thoughts on that?
Really, really good. Maybe we'll talk about it more later. It might appear later.
Yeah, it's just a lovely, lovely movie.
It works.
But The Lion King, I mean, you look at the likes of the Stampede, and just what they were able to do with animation.
Yeah.
I mean, Tarzan has got some quite. I mean, it gets a little bit of a bad rap, I think, Tarzan, because people forget about it. But there are parts of that are quite amazing, like the swinging through the trees and the sliding, all that kind of thing.
I think although these films within this decade are all really, really, really good, there are some that I think get not a lot of attention.
Yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That is so underrated, that movie.
Pocahontas, it never gets talked about.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe more about that later.
Yeah.
The one film I hadn't seen was The Rescuers Down Under, but I don't feel a desperate need to go and see that.
You're not missing much, I don't think, with that one. Okay, so we're moving on to the post-Renaissance.
Can we make this one a quick one? I haven't seen any of them.
Do you know what? I think it has to be quick just for the simple reason I just don't think they're very good.
No, I'm looking at it now. There's nothing there for me.
Fantasia 2000, Dinosaur in 2000, which actually we really enjoyed as kids.
I remember seeing the trailer on the front of all the videos.
We went to see that and we really liked that.
Yeah.
The Emperor's New Groove, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Lilo and Stitch, Treasure Planet, Brother Bear, Home on the Range, Chicken Little, Meet the Robinsons, Bolt, and The Princess and the Frog. I think the first thing you can see from there is they really lost their way for like 7 years. Some of those, they were relentless.
If they were trying to experiment with new things, what was it? Because apart from the CGI and mixed in with the animation.
Yeah, I think that was probably the main thing they were trying, but the stories in general weren't very good. I mean, there's a couple on there I've never even seen. I've not seen Brother Bear, I've not seen Home on the Range or Chicken Little.
Well, they just sound a bit rubbish, don't they?
Yeah, they're just the quality, just the stories in general just don't look that good. And the animation itself just looks very meh.
I have seen The Princess and the Frog this week, but I thought that was in the next era.
Yeah, I think when they got to Bolt, that's when they started crossing that line over into like the quality was getting better.
Yeah.
But before that, I feel like there's not really much to say. I think for this one, Dinosaur is probably the best because it was different and they were trying new things.
It was the CG, wasn't it?
Just the difference of it made it what it is, I think, and also like, for pure enjoyment and nostalgia factor for me. So yeah, I think Dinosaur for me. The others were very forgettable.
Yeah, like I said, I've not seen any apart from The Princess and the Frog. I'm tempted to say I'll still put that for both, though.
Yeah,
In terms of like the themes, and they did like the throwback kind of animation style.
yeah,
There was a black protagonist, not necessarily wealthy. It's not the traditional princess story. They grounded it in a more real reality.
yeah.
So I'd probably just say Princess and the Frog because that's all I can go off.
Okay. So we're now moving into the revival era, which is 2010 to present. The Princess and the Frog definitely fits, I think, more into this because the quality of these films is much
Yeah,
better. It's very modern as well, though.
it is.
So you've got Tangled, Winnie the Pooh, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Moana, and Ralph Breaks the Internet.
This is where Pixar and Disney to me become almost indistinguishable.
Yeah, they kind of merge together, don't they?
They're almost the same thing now. Only Winnie the Pooh's hand drawn and Princess and the Frog.
Mm-hmm. The further on you go, yes, they all become more computer animated. I don't think you can tell that with Tangled so much, and even with Frozen. Frozen, even though it's now animated with computers, it's still got a Disney look.
Yeah, well, I think again it's the stories that tell them apart.
Wreck-It Ralph and Big Hero 6, I don't think feel anything like Disney. It's very new. It's very different.
Big Hero 6 feels like a different studio altogether.
It does, but it's fantastic.
I really enjoyed it.
I've only seen it the once when it first came out, and I'll have to rewatch that one because I remember really enjoying it.
It's funny.
Yeah, I just think there was something about that one, and I know you're a big Zootopia fan, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, it just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to be as funny as it was. Story-wise, I could probably take or leave it, but
Yeah.
just what they did with the animals and how they slotted into
Society.
Yeah, humans and society had animal counterparts, and I just think
Yeah.
that was really clever. And there were some key moments that just made that work so well.
Yeah.
Maybe talking about that later.
Do you know which one really surprised me? Actually, it was Moana.
Really?
I thought it was going to be more of the same.
Okay.
And I actually, just something about it really, really worked for me. I don't know quite what it was, but I really enjoyed it, and I came back to it a few times afterwards to watch it again because I just really enjoyed watching it.
I think the location and the setting of that one just works well for that animation style. I know Lilo and Stitch was kind of a similar tropical setting.
Yeah, they are getting more diverse as well. You can see by the, not just story-wise, because they are trying new things with stories, but you can see that they're trying, and obviously they've done it with Pocahontas, with a different culture, and a different race. But they're doing that here with Moana, and they are branching out. Big Hero 6 is set in a completely different culture as well. And
Wreck-It Ralph's in the internet.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think a lot of that's come from Pixar because Pixar are extremely diverse. And I think obviously since Disney bought Pixar, a lot of the ideas are merging in, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
No, not at all.
Okay, so what would you say for achievement for this one?
Achievement. I don't like it all that much, but I feel like probably I'd have to say Frozen just because of what happened.
Yeah, it was perfectly marketed. Perfectly.
Yeah.
They couldn't have asked for a better outcome than what they did. The songs in it are also pretty
That's another factor.
The soundtrack really did amazing things. Let It Go was everywhere.
Yeah, and that's one way to write a hit.
Yeah, they haven't really had one quite like that since the early 90s, I don't think.
Yeah, and it had a good message.
It did.
Which always helps. But in terms of favourite...
Yeah, it's not my favourite. Definitely not. I think my favourite from that one, I don't know why, I'm not sure why exactly, but for me it's Tangled.
I was nearly going to say Tangled, but Zootopia.
It's got to be Zootopia for me.
There's something about Zootopia. I think Tangled had a very sort of Shrek feel to it in that I felt like it was poking fun at fairy tale in places.
Yeah, the voice cast was good as well. It was.
Yeah.
There was something about the voice cast that was nice.
Everyone loves Flynn Rider, don't they?
Yeah. So that's the eras. So top 10 ranking of Disney animated films.
Yes.
No Pixar in here. It's just the Disney studio films.
Yeah.
So should we give our number 10s then? Do you want to start, Matt?
Yes. My number 10 is one I don't feel gets enough attention, and it's one that we watched a lot, me and my sister, and it still makes me laugh now. I love the legend aspect. It's The Sword in the Stone.
Oh, okay.
Which I think you're going to go, oh, okay. I knew you were going to say that.
It was not a big one for me. I've only seen it once, The Sword in the Stone.
It's very much a sequence film. It happens in stages. The character of Merlin's trying to teach Arthur different lessons.
Yeah.
So there's a bit where they're fish and that's underwater. There's a bit where they're squirrels and that's all in the trees. And then there's a bit where they're birds.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole thing with Mad Madam Mim at the end.
Yeah.
And she's barking mad and she's transforming and she's whatever. And then they have an animal transformation battle with Merlin at the end. Yeah. I just remember being really funny, and there's a sequence where Merlin's packing all of his possessions and furniture into one bag, and it's all magic, and he's tripping over his beard all the time. I just think it's classic. Really good characters.
My number 10 is it's from the era I grew up in. It's just one we watched a lot, and that's Hercules.
Oh yeah, okay.
We really enjoyed that as kids growing up, and I love James Woods as Hades.
Yeah.
If you actually go back as an adult and watch that, some of the lines, they're hilariously funny.
Yeah, it's actually quite cheeky.
Yeah,
film.
it really is. Yeah.
You mean Hercules?
Yeah, it's just. I mean,
anyway.
Come on. So number 9.
If this wasn't so much of a favourite as listening, it was more of a best list, I might put it higher. But Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is my number 9. Yeah. It's kind of the original. It's irreplaceable. Yeah. I identified with Dopey a lot as a child.
That was my favourite character, Dopey. I love Dopey.
Obviously, fond memories of singing into the washing machine.
Of course.
Yeah. There's not much else to say. It's just the classic.
My number 9. I was surprised it made the list actually.
Okay.
But it's The Jungle Book. I think it's just one of those epic Disneys.
It'd feel like there was a gap if it was missing.
Yeah, and there's not really much more to say than that. It's kind of got to be there.
Okay.
So your number 8 then?
My number 8, I was a little bit late to the party with this one. So a lot of people, I think, would put it a lot higher than me.
Okay.
And that's Aladdin.
Ooh, okay.
Obviously, Robin Williams completely steals the show. And as looking at it as an adult, I think he was where I got the most enjoyment.
Yeah.
And there's some great songs in there. And I think they were quite well translated into the remake.
Yeah. It's amazing how, if you've missed it as a child, how it changes your perception of the film.
If Robin Williams wasn't in it, I don't think I would have put it on my top 10.
Yeah. Oh, he really did steal the film. It was totally his.
Yeah.
My number 8 is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Just loved it. Voice cast was great. Demi Moore. I just loved that story. I loved the story of it. I loved the gargoyles. Thought they were hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's really underwritten. Really,
yeah.
The songs are lovely. There's some really great songs in there.
It's a very dark film.
It is. But nobody ever talks about it.
No, it's about it's a bit rapey in places.
It is a little bit, yeah. It is quite.
I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah. Okay, your number 7 then.
My number 7 is Zootopia.
Oh, right, so it didn't make it higher in the list.
No. Like you said, it doesn't feel very Disney, but in terms of it being a film, it really took me by surprise. I think it's genuinely spot on with the comedy. Story-wise, like I said, you could take it or leave it, but the creation of the world where every type of human imaginable is substituted with an animal counterpart.
Yeah.
The sloths at the DMV scene had me crying.
Yeah, they were funny.
It was just a really nice surprise. I didn't see that coming at all. And I think part of that was because I didn't realise it was a Disney film. I thought it was maybe a DreamWorks film or something. So when I did see it, and I was like, oh, it's Disney. Surprised me.
Okay.
I love it.
My number 7 is another one from the Renaissance era. It's Mulan.
Yeah.
Another one we watched a lot when we were kids. And Eddie Murphy, oh my God. He does some great voice work in his animated films.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It's very heartwarming. Again, there's some great songs in there. Probably my favourite song. One of my favourite songs.
Make a Man Out of You.
Yeah. Sometimes it's number 1. It's goes up and down with Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, I love that song. Absolutely brilliant song. Okay, so your number 6.
My number 6 is Peter Pan.
Oh, okay.
It's just, there's some classic characters in there that Disney's repertoire wouldn't be complete without having in.
Yeah.
And just to list a few, you've got Peter Pan, Wendy, John and Michael, Tinkerbell, Captain Hook, Mr. Smee, Tiger Lily, Crocodile, Lost Boys. They're all sort of institutions in themselves, really.
Tinkerbell's become Tinkerbell's its own movie now, isn't it?
Many. mini straight-to-video films.
Yeah.
This idea of it all being set, apart from the London scenes, which are iconic anyway, but this sort of whole Neverland,
Yeah.
you can be on this island and there's mermaids and the
Yeah.
Native Americans, and you can be out in the water with the pirates, or you can be in the forest with the Lost Boys, and yeah, you go into there and you're in this, it's almost like being in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You're in that arena. Never going to compare Peter Pan to the Hunger Games ever again.
I don't think
No.
anybody ever has.
It's a first. So yeah, just spending time in that world is a real treat, and yeah, like I said, I really identify with Peter Pan, so love that.
Okay. My number 6 is Aladdin.
Oh, we're not too far apart on those.
No, they're not too far apart. The only reason it's not higher is because there just are so many good films out of the Disney list. I mean, it's hard to place them. Everything about Aladdin works well. The songs, I mean, A Whole New World is something else.
Yeah.
It's absolutely stunning. Again, it's in a different place, culture, it's different landscape. Again, Robin Williams was just,
Yeah.
I mean, he blew it away, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just everything about it works. So yeah, that's my number 6.
Very good.
Your number 5 then.
I nearly put this one higher. It's Tarzan.
Okay, all right, okay.
One word, Phil Collins. Genius decision. The fact that he didn't just write the music, he sings it all as well.
Yeah.
You identify Tarzan with this very particular sound, and I think without that,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have had that sort of memorability factor about it. You'll Be in My Heart, Strangers Like Me, Son of Man, and it's Tarzan, so I'm happy. So
Okay. Right, my number 5 is Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
I've always drawn to a magical, like fantastical one, and something that's a bit quirky and out of the ordinary, and just the fact that she goes into a world where things aren't quite what they seem.
I mean, she's high as a kite in that film.
I mean, well, you know, it would be an interesting one to watch if you were high as a kite, I think, because it's just,
I don't think you'd need it.
well, no, but it's just vividly drawn, and it's very strange, and I like strange.
Yeah. No, it's a good rationale. I like strange.
Yes, I do. I like strange. Number 4 for you then, Matt.
I love me some Greek mythology. It's Hercules. It's such an innovative way to have the story narrated by these 5 sassy muses, and
Yes, different.
every aspect of the design, from the characters and locations, just everything, even the font is sort of enriched with this ancient Greek kind of flavour. I think that must have taken a lot of care and attention. It's got 2 of the best Disney songs for me, Go the Distance, and one of my absolute favourites is I Won't Say I'm in Love.
Oh yeah, the lovely songs, them too.
And it's Hercules, so I'm happy.
Okay. Number 4 for me is Pinocchio.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Again, something a bit strange about it, a wooden puppet coming to life, and its little conscience is a cricket, and I mean, I just love Jiminy Cricket. I think he's probably one of my favourite Disney characters.
Yeah.
Something quite special about that. I love the look of him.
He's just quite friendly, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's someone that you'd want as a friend.
Yeah. But just the animation style in this film's great. You could freeze it and like have it as a portrait on your wall.
Yeah.
For me, it's number 4.
Okay, very good. I feel like the top 3 is the hardest.
Well, mine were easy, actually. It was the others that were harder for me.
I think putting them in order was hard, but I knew what they were going to be. Number 3, I've got a few things to say.
Okay, go on then.
Pocahontas. Now, Pocahontas is hugely underrated, and I think it's maybe the most important Disney film.
Okay.
In a way, I think they've missed a trick in not prioritising this one for a remake, because it speaks so well to issues that are happening right now, whether that's the environment, deforestation, racial prejudice, fracking could even be worked in there maybe.
Yep.
It could be spun to target climate change, wars over natural resources, arranged marriages.
It is actually a very relevant film.
100%. Yeah. So it was ahead of its time then.
Definitely.
It's relevant now. If they were to redo it now, there's a massive opportunity for more diversity and representation in cinema. There'd be an opportunity there for Native American actors. And let's just talk the music. There are some of the best Disney songs in Pocahontas. Colours of the Wind remains the most important Disney song of all time. You just have to look up any line of the lyrics, and it's just genius. I think it's one of the most creative Disney films in terms of colour, landscaping, its depiction of nature. I also had a Pocahontas bath towel as a child, so this one's obviously been with me
Nostalgic
a
element.
long time. But I think even without that, I think it's a really, really, really strong film, and nobody ever talks about Pocahontas.
Right. Okay. Wow. Well, my number 3, people do talk about that one. It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I've said it before. I just love the look of it.
Yeah.
None of the others look like it, and it's the first. And I love the dwarves, the characters themselves. I just love the way it's been drawn.
Yeah.
All parts of it, the animals, the background, the landscape around them. I love everything about it. And I think it really, for me, has that nostalgic element. So when you put it on, it just takes you back. Love it for that.
Did you sing Into the Washing Machine? Or
I didn't sing Into the Washing Machine.
You missed a trick
I
there.
missed a trick, yeah. I missed a trick there.
You might have put it higher if you'd done that.
Maybe I would.
And again, I didn't. So.
Okay, you're number 2.
Okay. Strangely, it was the first time I'd watched it this week.
Wow.
Beauty and the Beast is my number 2.
Wow, so it did have an effect on you then?
Yeah, but the thing is, it was one of those really, like, I feel like you see so many clips from it and you saw so many trailers from it that it's one of those that you felt like you'd already seen it anyway.
Yeah.
And the characters are just so, like with Peter Pan, I feel like the collection wouldn't be complete without these ones, and the fact that they're objects. That's not really something that's been done a lot.
Yeah.
It's just classic age-old story. Song as old as rhyme, blah blah blah. Great songs. I really like the idea of it being in this castle. I think it's one of the most iconic, and it's got Gaston and Beast in it, so I'm happy. So.
Okay. My number 2 was my number 1 for about 18 years. It really did stay there for a long time, and that's The Lion King. It was my favourite Disney film as a child, the one that I watched the most. I do think, if we're talking overall, that it does have the greatest soundtrack of any Disney film.
Most likely,
in terms of all of the songs. It's got the most kind of high quality, well-known, famous songs in it. It's got an amazing voice cast.
Yeah.
There's so many points in this movie where I just cry. Either sad cry or happy cry. I mean, that bit where he's walking up Pride Rock at the end. I'm in bits.
Very powerful music from Hans Zimmer.
Oh God, the score is like, it's probably one of my favourite scores as well, because the score is absolutely,
it just tears you open and leaves you bare.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was number 1 for a long time. With good reason, I think, because it's just fantastic.
I guess that segues really nicely in. My number 1 is The Lion King.
Oh, right, okay.
But I've written here, is it the one that I would choose to watch all the time? Probably not, but only because I feel like we've all seen it like a million times each, and that's the only thing I doubted about it, really. I just thought, all things considered, it's always going to top the list, really. Characters, music, songs, story, setting, cast, it just covers it all. I think it's the quintessential Disney film. I think if you don't put it at least in your top 2 like we have, there's something majorly wrong. Number 1.
Well, my number 1 is Beauty and the Beast. It just topped out. It is number 1 for me because it is the film that draws me back in the most.
Yeah.
Where it didn't used to. And funnily enough, it wasn't one that I watched a lot when I was younger, but it is the one that I would watch more often than not as an adult.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure why that is.
I think maybe we've just overwatched The Lion King a bit.
Yeah, I do think that has something to do with it. It's not one I come back to a lot because I have seen it so many times. Where Beauty and the Beast, I haven't seen it as many times. The quality level is so high. Again, the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury. Oh, it's just, I mean, God, there's just nothing beats that voice singing Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time.
I like it every time she tells Chip to get in the cupboard.
Yeah, it's just...
All right, get in the cupboard, love.
It's just lovely. And Beauty and the Beast as a song is just phenomenal. It's so gorgeously written. The lyrics are fantastic. I have to mention, it's something they did do a lot of later on especially, but Belle was probably one of the first. She was her own woman. She was who she was. and she fought for that. She had her own opinions about things, wasn't swayed by anything else. She loved books. She was very smart, and she didn't need a man. She wasn't looking for the fairy tale romantic ending, you know. And I think they've kind of took that model, and that's what they're trying to do from that then on. I think they were really trying to show the independence of women and things like that.
Yeah, there's good messages behind these two films.
And because I'm a huge reader, I think Belle is probably the one that I relate to the most, because that is me.
Yeah,
all over. Yeah.
that makes sense.
So yeah, so that's our ranking.
We had 5 that were the same on each list,
We did.
which were Snow White, Aladdin, Hercules, Beauty and the Beast, and The Lion King.
I think a lot of people would mention quite a few of those as well.
Yeah, I think so. More people need to see Pocahontas.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and that's the top 10.
Yes, it is. So we're going to very briefly mention Disney today and its industry takeover. So I think the thing that we can say about modern Disney and its effect on cinema in the last few years, we mentioned this in the previous episode, that, well, Disney just own everything, don't they?
Yeah.
It's saturating the market.
Absolutely, yeah. The amount of content that they put out every year.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, it is. But the amount of films they're bringing out in a year, and now that they own Fox as well. I mean, there was 19 we said earlier in the quiz just this year alone. I mean, what's next year going to look like?
I know. Yeah,
You know, it's not something that makes me excited. However much I love Disney, and I am such a huge Disney fan. Out of everybody I know, I am the biggest Disney fan. But it worries me. It does worry me that they are buying up everything.
I mean, it almost felt like it was going to be inevitable. I think even The Simpsons predicted that Disney was going to own everything in the end. But so long as Disney films and Marvel films and Star Wars films and Fox films don't become so similar to each other,
and merge together,
hopefully we won't really notice much of a change. But they might carry on buying more stuff.
Yeah, I really hope they don't. So I think the big issue one of the biggest talking points of especially this year, last year, probably going on for the next couple, is the Disney remakes.
There's a lot of them.
They are just a constant at the moment. So we've had Aladdin, The Lion King, and Dumbo this year.
Plus Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus. Mulan's coming in 2020.
I'm not looking forward to that at all.
There's no music. Yeah.
I mean, how's that Mulan? That's not Mulan.
Well,
bare bones Mulan.
Yeah.
So I'm not excited for that one whatsoever. I have to admit, on the whole, I don't know about you, but I'm quite disappointed with the Disney remakes. But saying that, I loved Beauty and the Beast so much that maybe makes up for all of the rest put together. I absolutely adored it. Emma Watson was...
She was actually really good. I actually valued her more after going back and seeing the animated. I think she was a better fit.
Yes, yeah.
Than... it sounds weird because she was animated, but than the original Belle.
Yeah, she really made it her own.
I personally thought The Jungle Book was the strongest of the remakes that they've done.
I just didn't do anything for me, that one. I was really disappointed.
But you also had a child, didn't you, in the screen with you?
I did, climbing all over the railings on the front.
So I think if you were to watch it again, maybe it might be different.
Well, no, I really don't think it would. Visually, yes, stunning. What they were able to do, it was the story I didn't like. Like, cut a lot of the songs, and the ones that they did use almost felt like they've been thrown in as an afterthought. We'll just pop that little bit in there just so that it's fan service. And yeah, I didn't like the voice cast. I didn't like some of the changes to the story.
Okay.
But the biggest crime for me is The Lion King. I know you appreciate it more than me.
I enjoyed it both times I saw it.
I know you did enjoy it. For me, do you know what? I think I know the animated version too well. So I was expecting certain things from this one, and I didn't get them. Like, all of the moments that mean the most to me, the ones that really stand out to me, they were just constantly fell below the mark, and I was like, oh.
And that was only inevitable, though.
It was. But if you're going to be a complete, and I mean, it was unlike the others, which do have their own voice and their own elements to them that make them their own. Apart from The Lion King, they literally remade it shot for shot almost in places, and line for line.
Yeah, script-wise, I think they could have done a little bit more.
None of it had the same emotion. It was all kind of second rate. It was
Yeah.
it
The reason I rank it so high is the visuals, and overall, generally, when the remakes were being announced, the fascination for me, and it always has been with films really, I've always been fascinated by seeing things brought to life, and I always said, so long as they try and do something different with these films, I don't mind them happening. And I felt like I got that with The Jungle Book, we got that with Beauty and the Beast, and I feel like visually, I feel like we did get that with The Lion King. I thought if these films can benefit from having a 21st century breath of life, and The Lion King got, I feel, a 22nd century breath of life.
Yeah.
How they did it, I really admire that. But yeah, Aladdin as well. Even Dumbo, now having seen the original, I can see where they've elaborated and they've built on.
Yeah.
So long as they're doing something different and they're utilizing the tools that they have now to add something, I don't mind them so much. The weird thing is that all these remakes are getting done, but they don't feel like a collection.
Yeah.
Some of them are musicals, some of them are not musicals, some of them are live action, some of them are live-ish action or CG.
Trying to do something different with each one, which I can see why, but I think the speed that they're bringing them out is bad. I think that's going to harm them eventually because people will be so sick.
Yeah, I've actually looked ahead. We've got Mulan next year. There's a Cruella de Vil Origin 2021.
That one I'm interested in. Emma Stone, I think that's an interesting choice.
There's ones that haven't got dates yet at all. So The Little Mermaid, there's a second Jungle Book, there's a Snow White, there's a Hunchback film.
I heard about that one. I'm quite interested about that. Hunchback of Notre Dame, I think, could be an excellent movie.
Also Pinocchio, I think, as a live action thing could be good. Yeah. So there's a lot more, obviously, in the running. I'm a bit disappointed there's no Pocahontas. We're in a climate crisis, people.
There might be yet. I would hold your horses there.
Well, they need to get a move on. There might be no Earth left.
True, very true. And on that lovely note, shall we end it for the week?
It's been you could say, a blockbuster episode.
Okay, so I have to ask you, Matt.
Yeah.
What is your recommended film for the week?
I thought I'd pick one that was sort of in a similar vein to the films we've been talking about, but not Disney at all. So this is DreamWorks' The Prince of Egypt from 1998.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Astonishing visual effects, animated. So ahead of its time.
The songs are great.
Yeah, songs, obviously you've got the music by Hans Zimmer and Stephen Schwartz. Imagine The Dark Knight meets Hunchback of Notre Dame and Wicked. And it's in ancient Egypt.
There's something about it's a Bible story, isn't it?
It is, and it falls into that category of myths and legends for me. It doesn't. You don't have to be religious to enjoy this film or to even get something out of it. I am
not in the least bit religious whatsoever, but there's always been something about the Bible stories that is kind of fascinating. It's just cozy.
They're cozy, but at the same time, you've got the plagues of Egypt happening in this. It's exciting. It's just really like imaginative. We've got a cast that includes Val Kilmer, Ralph Fiennes, Helen Mirren, Patrick Stewart, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Danny Glover, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. It's now a West End musical, which is coming out very soon. I think tickets are on sale. I'm actually really wanting to go and see that.
I will go with you if you want to go.
We should go. We could podcast in London. That's my recommendation. I feel like a lot of people would have seen it at school for RE or whatever.
That is a great recommendation.
Yeah.
That is really good.
It's sensational. Listen to the music where the burning bush happens. It will tear you open in places you didn't know you had.
Okay, all right then. So I don't think mine can quite live up to that. Mine is completely unrelated. I have started, as I've said every week, my Christmas calendar, and the other night I watched The Family Stone. And it's not one that is overtly Christmassy. It's spent around the family getting together at Christmas.
Yeah.
And again, it's got an amazing cast. You've got Dermot Mulroney, Sarah Jessica Parker, Claire Danes, Diane Keaton, Rachel McAdams, Craig T. Nelson, Luke Wilson. And it's just lovely. Because Christmas is such a big deal to me, and I love the traditions of Christmas and the coming together and all the things that you do in your own individual families, like your traditions that you have. And watching this movie is like what I hope my future will be. Like, obviously, I've got married now and moved away and moved out.
I've moved down the road.
I'm down the road now. But in the future, that is something I've always wished for, like our families coming together with our children being there and everybody coming together. And this film kind of really encapsulates that. And it's basically, it's about Dermot Mulroney's character is one of the sons, and he's bringing Sarah Jessica Parker home for the first time, and she is not what the family want or expect,
No.
shall we say.
People say she's got a face that looks like a foot.
Okay, I've not heard that one, but wow.
Have you not?
No, I have not.
I've no strong views either way.
I am not a huge Sarah Jessica Parker fan, but I do like her in this.
You like Hocus Pocus as well.
I do. But I forget it's her.
She's like, yeah.
She is
She's
not like anything she's ever done.
Yeah. Well, she looks like a foot in that. So no.
So yeah, The Family Stone is it's very sad in parts, but it is just lovely. It's one of those you watch and just contented.
It's interesting you say that, because a lot of films can be inspirational, but not a lot of films are aspirational.
Yeah, and it's really down to earth.
We like films that are about real things.
Yeah, it's
like
just
Pocahontas.
I mean, obviously we're a little bit different. Obviously. Now that Christmas is coming upon us, I would definitely recommend that one to watch.
I haven't seen it, so I'm writing it down as we speak. I'm excited to see a foot acting.
Okay. I really hope she never listens to this.
Aww.
And Sarah Jessica Parker, if you are listening, I apologise for Matt and his comments.
Sorry.
Okay, so what are you watching next, Matt?
I did say I'd commit to watching Die Hard.
Yes.
I shall try and do that, and I do want to see Knives Out at the cinema as well.
Oh yes, I do as well.
Big fan of Agatha Christie murder mysteries.
Yeah, and it's got Bond in it, and you love Bond. Agatha Christie and Bond.
Daniel Craig. Yeah, there's a big cast in there. Yeah, very excited, and I have no idea where it's going to go. I just know it's quite quirky.
Yeah.
How about you?
I am watching the next one on my Christmas list, which is Rise of the Guardians.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I don't know what it is about it. It's just.
Is this the one that's got like the Tooth Fairy and people like that?
Yeah, so the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and Father Christmas, and they are basically they're coming together to fight the boogeyman, basically, who's voiced by Jude Law. Very, very well.
Love Jude Law.
It's got Alec Baldwin and Hugh Jackman and Isla Fisher doing the voices, and you've got Chris Pine. There's Jack Frost.
Oh, right.
And it's lovely. I love the kind of the myth side of it. You've got all of these things that obviously we've grown up as adults you don't believe, and it's just magical. I love it. It's
fascinating seeing things that are imaginary, given life. I like that.
Yeah.
So next week is very exciting. Yeah. We are going to be doing our introduction to awards season. So what I have planned for us is we're going to be delving into the 90+ year history of Oscar winners.
Oof.
We're going to be looking at our favourites, our biggest snubs. We're going to place winners head to head. We're going to find the ultimate champions in each of the categories. A dream team Oscar winner ensemble.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
It's the start of award season, people.
Fantastic. Very
That'll
exciting.
be episode 5. Okay.
And where can they find us, Matt?
They can find us on Facebook and YouTube as CineChat Podcast. We're on Instagram at CineChat_official. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker. We're now on Twitter, Mary, is that correct?
We are on Twitter, so please look us up and please tell your friends. Anybody who you know that likes watching movies, please tell them about us, because we would love to have conversations with people who are as interested as we are.
Yeah. If there's a topic that you'd like to see in future, I mean, we're fully booked now till February, but if there's anything you'd like to see after that, please let us know. And you can also email us, and that is cinechatofficial@gmail.com. We're everywhere.
So that's bye from me.
And goodbye from me. Good day. Happy Disney.